Hey dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Sky and I typically write paranormal romance of Misty Hegyes. My first 2020 release, Damned and Desolate, the first book in the Damned and Dangerous Quartet, is available on Amazon as an ebook, and if you are a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you can read it for free. For today's video, I thought we'd have a little fun. A couple years ago, Tamara Woods posted a video where she talked about her first purchases made on Amazon. So I went ahead and looked back through my purchases on Amazon and discovered when I made my first purchase. So for a little bit of background, my first purchase on my current Amazon account was made back in 2007, November 8th, 2007. They were a bunch of school books I needed for my English 3 and English 4 class. My teacher back then was Ms. Mack, and I still to this day love her and love everything I learned in her class. She was a hard teacher to please, but she basically taught us in a way that she was preparing us for a 4-year college university. So while the classes were difficult, I never felt like I wasn't learning something, if that makes any sense. And because of that, I actually really enjoyed her classes and learned a lot. The first book I purchased was The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, which I actually still thoroughly enjoy. It was one of my favorite books to read back in high school. If you don't know it, it is a classic about a young man who wakes up and he has turned into a beetle, and it also is about how his family reacts to his turning into a beetle along with his own reaction. The second book was The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. It is a play where it is a case of mistaken identity. Plays were difficult for me to read back then. They're still difficult for me to read. I am a visual learner. I got much more out of watching the play on video versus reading the play in book format, but it was still pretty funny. The third book was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which is a classic romance tale that everyone I seem to hear about loves, and it took me a really long time to even understand the book. I had to read it 3 times and see the movie with Keira Knightley 2 times before I understood anything that was going on. And honestly, it wasn't until recently when I saw a post on Facebook about what the book is about, basically a Sparks Note version of what the book is about, that I even really still understood exactly what was going on, just because I don't really understand the times back then, and I didn't see how it was a romance, especially when compared to the romances I read these days. The next book was Hamlet, which of course is a Shakespeare play. I often quote it thanks to the animated movie Quest for Camelot. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well. The last book I purchased was called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It is by Tom Stoppard. It is also a play. I don't remember much about it, but what I do remember is that it was a parody of Shakespeare's plays. I don't remember if it was Hamlet or Macbeth that it was a parody of. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are 2 characters that in one of the 2, whether it's Hamlet or Macbeth, die. It was basically the same play from their point of view. It was a funny haha, kind of breaks the 4th wall, like they realize they're gonna die and they were like, wait a minute, what's going on, kind of thing. Other than that, I don't remember anything about it. It was one I didn't really, again, because I'm a visual learner, it wasn't one I really enjoyed reading. It's one that if I ever see it, and I hope I do someday, I might understand it a little bit better. So I ended up buying 5 books, and they were all from my high school class, as I said. The subtotal of the books came to $31.28. Because I was not an Amazon Prime member because I was a teenager in high school, I had to pay shipping and handling. That was $19.94. So the total ended up being $51.22. However, I don't know why, but there was no tax collected. I feel like tax was not charged on Amazon orders when I first started purchasing from Amazon, and maybe it was because I spent over $25 with my subtotal. I'm not certain. I can't remember. I do remember there was some changes made. I just don't remember what they were. I ended up paying $51.22 for those 5 books. Now, one of the reasons I purchased them through Amazon was because I had tried looking at a couple of local used bookstores, but because, of course, they were books needed for high school classes, they couldn't keep them in stock. So I had to order them brand new. Yay. But it all worked out in the end. I was able to read all 5 during the summer before my classes started. I even took some notes on them, none of which I used during the class itself, which is not unusual, but it helped me understand them a little bit better, and I was able to take even better notes when I actually got into class and we started discussing the books. The Metamorphosis was my favorite to read. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead was my least favorite to read, and I did not really understand Pride and Prejudice at all until well after high school. So that tells you a lot about that one, at least. If you haven't checked it out, I will leave a link down to Tamara's video where she talks about her first Amazon buys, and I'd be interested to know what your first Amazon purchases were and why you purchased them, because like I said, my first purchases were made back in 2007 and they were all books I needed for my English classes in high school. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, dragonlings.